Atsushi, a small boy, is sitting under the bridge near the canal. He remembered how he would get 3 bowls of food in the orphanage as he fell down because of hunger. He was about to give up but got his courage back and decided to attack the first person he saw. Suddenly, he finds a man half drowned in water and saves him. The man was annoyed as Atsushi hindered his suicide attempt. Suddenly, another man appeared on the other side of the canal and started scolding him. The suicidal man introduced himself as Dazai and told Atsushi that his friend on the other side was an office colleague. Dazai invited Atsushi to have food with them as all 3 of them reached a restaurant. Kyouka was scolding Dazai for always destroying his schedule and Atsushi for eating shamelessly on his dime. After the treat ended, Atsushi thanked both of them from the bottom of his heart, as he was chased out of his orphanage and thought that he would just die. Both of them told him that they are detectives, and their job today relates to the military and being detectives of supernatural phenomena or the Armed Detective Agency. Kyouka told him that today's job is to look for a certain tiger at the behest of the military. The moment he heard about the Maynator tiger, Atsushi started trying to run away. Kyouka instantly held him and asked him to quickly tell him everything about it. Dazai politely asked him to tell everything, as Atsushi told him that the orphanage was ravaged by the tiger, and after that, as the orphanage had a low budget, they kicked him out. He also mentioned that the man-eater shows up wherever he goes. Dazai listened to the whole story and told him to cooperate with them as it would make their hunt way easier, and they would also reward him for it. Both Dazai and Atsushi reached a vacant warehouse and started waiting for the tiger to come, as he also gave a slip to Kyouka to communicate with the office. Dazai assured him that he would be fine under his protection even if the tiger came. Suddenly he heard a voice from behind and jumped up, telling Dazai that probably the tiger was here. Dazai was still very calm. He started explaining to him how the tiger appeared wherever he did and that there was some connection between both of them. He further told him that the orphanage knew that Atsushi was the tiger, but no one believed in him. The moment the moonlight fell on him, he turned into a ferocious tiger and started attacking Dazai. He jumped on Dazai, but Dazai told him that he couldn't kill him as his ability is to dispel others' abilities by mere touch, as he turned Atsushi back to normal. As Atsushi fainted, Kyouka appeared with other members of the agency as Dazai announced that he would be taking Atsushi in as a member of the agency from now on. Atsushi woke up as he wondered what had happened the past night and how much time had passed since he was able to sleep in a nice shade and a soft bed. Suddenly he heard the phone ring. He picked it up and answered it to Dazai. Dazai checked up on him and then asked him to quickly come to a location after wearing the change of clothes near him as it was an emergency. Atsushi ran to the place in a hurry, just to find Dazai stuck in an oil drum in an attempt to commit suicide. But he is just suffering inside and is not able to die either, so he called Atsushi to get out of the can. Atsushi, after rescuing him, asked him if, as everyone in the agency is gifted with supernatural abilities, he doesn't have any chance to work with them, but Dazai replied that he is gifted enough. Atsushi still insisted that unlike everyone else, his ability is to transform into a ferocious tiger, but he is not able to control it or use it willingly. Dazai offered him another job that would be right for him as they took off for a sponsor. Suddenly, Kyouka approached them and told them that they needed to hurry to the agency as it was an emergency. A bomber has taken a hostage and holed himself up in an office. As they reached the office, a boy was sitting on the desk with a girl and a detonator. All 3 of them hid behind a table and started wondering how they could save the girl and others. After a game of stone, paper, scissors, Kyouka approached the boy, but the boy already knew him and ordered him to stay on all fours. Dazai asked Atsushi to go to the bomber as a normal, worthless man and told him to distract him. Atsushi approached him and started telling him worthless things to distract him. As he was distracted, Kyouka instantly used his ability to form a wire gun and then snatched the detonator from his hand and captured the bomber too. Suddenly, as Kyouka was talking to Dazai, the bomber snatched the detonator back and pressed the button with only Atsushi and the hostage girl left. Everything was left on Atsushi. Atsushi pushed the hostage girl away and covered the bomb in hope of saving everyone else. The bomb was fake and was a test by the agency to check on him as the president of the agency arrived. The president told him how Dazai kept on insisting on Atsushi and then left the decision to take him in on Dazai. The assistant even asked the president if she really wanted to let Atsushi join his agency. Before he could say anything, he saw that the tea leaf in his tea was straight and upright, which is a sign of a good thing. Atsushi at first told him that he wouldn't be able to join, but Dazai reminded him that he doesn't have any special skills and may also need to vacate the company dorm he is living in. After listening to this, he had no choice but to agree to the job. Everyone welcomes him, and Kyouka tells him to follow the rules. The bomber officially introduced himself as Tanizaki Junikairu and apologized for being rude to him. He also introduced his sister, who was sitting right beside him. She was the same person who sat right beside him as the hostage. While talking, they asked Atsushi to guess the past professions of all the seriers as a game. He was able to guess that the siblings were students and Kyouka was an official but failed to guess Dazai's. Dazai told him that no one is able to guess his profession, and the one who guesses it right will be rewarded with 700,000 yen as a reward. Suddenly, Tanizaki received a call, and he told others that they had a job. They arrived in front of the client as she told them that some unsavory people were loitering in her company's building's back alley. She mentioned that they wear rags and speak in foreign languages. Atsushi was sent to the smugglers as his first job to get evidence that they are doing some wrong work so that she can complain to the military police. Kyouka gave him a picture and asked him to avoid the man in the picture in all senses as he was packing his camera. The man is a part of the port mafia and is really dangerous as he is an ability user. His name is Akutagawa. On the other side, Akutagawa entered a military police station to give a bag to the police, and the moment they found him suspicious, he killed them using his skill, and the bag he left was blasted, destroying the whole station. As the sibling and Atsushi were walking down the lane to get to the designated place by the client, suddenly the client called them in the alley. As they reached inside, Tanizaki told them that this couldn't be a place for smugglers as it was blocked from one side. The client actually turned out to be a part of the smuggling gang as the woman changed her appearance and shot at them using the 2 submachine guns in her hand. The girl saved the others using her body as a shield, looking at which Takezawa got berserk. He used his skill and was about to kill the woman, but Akutagawa appeared and killed him using his skill. Only Atsushi was left in front of Akutagawa and the woman. Akutagawa told him that he had been trying to capture him for a long time and that the other 2 had died in order to capture him. He also threatened him that if he tried to run away, he would destroy one of his legs. Atsushi tried to save others, but he was not able to do anything against Akutagawa. Atsushi could see all the pain he had gone through for so many years, which turned him into the tiger and also regenerated his lost leg, and he started attacking Akutagawa. As the tiger and Akutagawa were about to clash, Dazai appeared in between them and told them that he had secretly hid a transmitter in the woman's pocket. Akutagawa commanded her to retreat for now as they should not fight Dazai. But he also mentioned that he would capture the war tiger, who has a bounty on him of 7 billion yen in the black market. Atsushi woke up again on another bed. He saw Kyouka-san just beside him but was too shocked by the previous events to say anything. As he woke up after remembering that he was attacked by the mafia, Kyouka told him that the other 2 were okay and were being treated by Dr. Yasano. Kyouka also told him that he has a bounty of 7 billion yen in the black market, which totally shocked him as he started panicking, thinking what would happen to him and how the mafia would raid the agency in and out. Even though Kyouka was trying to tell him not to freak out, he himself was panicking, which showed that the agency is in a pretty dire situation. Atsushi was going through a guilt trip as he felt that all that was happening to him and the agency was because of him. Black Lizard was an old-looking member of the mafia. He entered a warehouse after breaking the door using his skill. He killed one of the men inside, and the others were massacred by the men inside. The next morning, the military police came to the place, but they found nothing but the corpses of the people inside, and all the goods inside were nowhere to be found. This event really scared Atsushi. He called the woman from the mafia using the visiting card she left. He told her that he was running out of the agency, and that he would be all alone and not a part of it. The woman understood that he was saying all this so that the mafia would call off their fight against the agency. Once the call ended, she instantly called the Black Lizard. On the other hand, Dazai was flirting with the waitress girl and trying to convince her to commit double suicide. But she didn't mean to do anything like that. She even reminded him that if he has not taken out life insurance yet, he must do so right now as he has a huge tab unpaid in the cafe. But Dazai just brushed her off and didn't pay any attention to it. Atsushi finally decided that he would be leaving the agency and started walking out of it. He was confronted by Kyouka and asked to help him, but he didn't listen to him and walked away. As he was walking out of the place, he could remember all the times he was thrown out of the place he had been, like the time he was in an orphanage too. The mafia entered the agency with the Black Lizard as the leader and the other bodyguards the moment Atsushi heard the voice of bullets and rushed back to that place, panicking. He returned to the office and was shocked to see that everyone in the agency was safe and that all the people from the agency were already dead. He understood that the agency is way more violent and strong than the mafia. Kyouka told him that he should do what he can and told him to clean the people. All of the members then threw the dead or unconscious members out the window. Atsushi couldn't stop wondering how the violent people from the mafia attacked him and his agency, but Kyouka-kun, Asano-kun, and Kenji-kun humiliated them and were able to throw them away from the place with ease. He realized again that the place he has joined is not a normal place, and everyone here has their own skills. Suddenly Ranpo-kun stood up and started flexing his super deduction skill, which is said to be the best in the agency. Kyouka he thanked Ranpo for being with them in the agency, and he commanded Atsushi to go with Ranpo to his next job as he doesn't know how to board a train. As both of them reached the place where the event happened, Yasui wasn't there, and in his place, another man named Minora took the call. He told him that they didn't need the agency or its people. He also showed them the body of the victim, who was shot 3 times and was floating in the river. As they were talking about all this, they suddenly found the body of another man in the net, and all of them ran towards it. The man turned out to be Dazai. He told everyone that he was not trying to attempt another suicide, but was just trying to find another woman for a double suicide. As soon as Dazai got to know about the case, he expressed his sadness. He asked Ranpo to instantly solve the case, but Ranpo told him that he had not been handed over the case. Minora was still not convinced, as he said that his own workers are way more talented than him and he doesn't need a low-grade detective for such work. As soon as he heard that, he requested one of his subordinates to solve the case in just 60 seconds. He tried to blame it all on the mafia, as he mentioned that they have a similar style of killing people as him. Dazai told him that the mafia is not related because the case just looks like it was done by the mafia. But it's different than them and is just a cover-up to look like it was done by the mafia. As the 60 seconds were over, Minamu told Ranpo that if he was so confident with his work, he should do it instantly. Ranpo's eyes started gleaming, and Dazai told Atsushi to keep noticing, as the moment he wears his spectacles, the ability will begin. Ranpo wore his glasses and instantly pointed at a subordinate of Minora. At first, he was not accepting it. But the moment he was asked to show everyone his bullets, he had no choice but to point his gun at the detective. Atsushi instantly held his hand and then captured it. As he was captured and investigated for the same, he told everyone how he was just there to ask her not to give in the evidence, but happened to kill her by mistake. After all of this was over, all of them returned home. Dazai told Atsushi that in reality, Ranpo has no ability, and he just has a very strong deductive skill, which helped him figure out all this in a short amount of time. Both Atsushi and Dazai started respecting him way more after knowing this as they set off to return to the office. Kyouka is a man of ideals and discipline. He likes to always stay on time. He entered the office exactly on time. The moment he entered, Atsushi confronted him and asked for his help with Dazai. Dazai was acting very weirdly as he started thinking that he had reached the afterlife. Atsushi told him that he had eaten a weird kind of mushroom and was now hallucinating. Kyouka didn't pay any attention to them and ignored them as he did his daily paperwork, after which all of them went to the job they were assigned. They were assigned to solve the disappearances in Yokohama. Kyouka told them that they were to first investigate the person who gave the anonymous tip as they entered one of the warehouse's basement. As they went down to the basement, they met an informant. He introduced himself as Taguchi Rakazo and mentioned that all of this is happening through the Azure Messengers. Kyouka called a taxi, and all of them reached the place they were informed had the victims. The place seemed a bit haunted and creepy, and as they moved forward, they heard the voice of a woman. They confronted a lady who was thrown inside a water tank. Kyouka shot her and took her out. The woman asked them to go to the other room as she heard a voice coming from inside too. They saw many men in a dark room, but before they could save any of them, gas was released inside, and they couldn't save them. The next day, when the lady woke up, she thanked everyone for saving her while everyone was talking. Suddenly, Kyouka realized who the real culprit was and asked everyone to follow him. Once they got in the taxi and asked Kyouka where he would like to go, he replied nowhere and told everyone that the taxi driver was the one who abducted the victims. He further gave various proofs for the same. The driver told him that he was being forced and that a group of mafia members were behind it. The driver also asked for the agency's help to protect him, as by mistake he had abducted one of the port mafia men. Mafia men started attacking their car. Kyouka asked others to run and bring police, as he would distract them. Akutagawa appeared, and both of them were about to have a serious fight, but the police appeared and they had to run away. Kyouka further told everyone about the Azure bombing case, as they received the message about the next job, which was also about an Azure Messenger. The new job required the agency to instantly find a bomb capable of destroying the whole city of Yokohama and do it before sunset, as the bomb would have gone off by then. The president told everyone that they could get to work and find the Azure Messenger and defuse the bomb, failing which the agency may lose its value. Kyouka instantly contacted the messenger from before and asked him to search for bomb-making instruments near him. Dazai, on the other hand, was in a cafe and was talking to the woman they saved the other day. Kyouka and Atsushi approached them and started talking about the case as it was the priority. The woman told everyone that she thinks that it may be related to the Azure Koenig incident, in which Koenig self-bombed himself and the 5 other detectives with him when he was cornered by the police. She also mentioned that she thinks that all of this that was posted in the news may be fake and that, in reality, the Azure King was able to run away. Ranpo suddenly called himself an awesome deducer, and he was instantly about to tell him that the bomb was kept in the fishing market, which is near the petroleum industry of Yokohama society. They instantly sent the military bomb squad to turn off the bomb. As all of them were in the car, all 3 of them got a call at the same time. Kyouka was informed by Rakazu that someone ordered a transmitter and other equipment in an old police station, and the president called Dazai to tell him that the driver died in the isolation cell and the number 0 was written in his hands. They reached the place where the transmitter was ordered, and the moment they reached there, grenades were thrown at them. Kyouka asked both of them to go up to where their transmitter is while he distracted the enemy. The opponent suddenly paralyzed him as the number 39 appeared in his hands. Kyouka was being destroyed by his opponent, and on the other side, Dazai was getting beaten by the bruiser in the transmitter room. Eventually, both of them understood each other's situation and switched places. Dazai was easily able to nullify all the attacks by the one who had the number ability, and Kyouka knocked out the bruiser immediately. He then made a key using his ability and was able to stop the bomb. Dazai called Kyouka when he was at the graveyard and told him that he needed him right now. Kyouka came to the specified place and was shocked to know that the real culprit in the Azure Messenger was none other than the woman they saved from the water tank, as she appeared and shot Rakuzo using her gun. As she threw her gun after that, she told Dazai that he couldn't shoot her. Dazai agreed and pointed his gun down, but Rakuzo killed her using his gun as she was the preacher of the Azure King, who killed his father. A little girl was standing at the side of a road while people were looking at her and wondering why she had just stood there without moving for 2 days. Suddenly, the girl started moving and reached the center of the road. She held Dazai's hand and opened her mobile phone. As soon as she did that, her ability got active and something huge got summoned. On the other side, Atsushi was getting worried about Dazai, as he had been missing for some time now. Tanizaki agreed to go find him as he had completely recovered after Dr. Yasano's treatment. Somehow Atsushi got stuck with Dr. Yasano for a shopping trip as everyone else was busy. While both of them were going forward, Atsushi crossed the same girl who helped Dazai's hand, but she didn't do anything this time, and he went forward. While both of them were in the train, Dr. Yasano checked on his leg, which was cut off, and couldn't help but wonder how he was able to regenerate it as it is. Dr. Yasano was telling Atsushi that as he is a target of the mafia, he should be alert at all times, as the mafia likes to attack their targets by surprise. As he was saying this, a sudden voice came up and told everyone that until Atsushi does not surrender himself, he will keep bombing the train. Both of them decided to go opposite ways, with the goal of capturing the person who was on the microphone and detonating the bomb. Dr. Yasano changed coaches, and a grenade was thrown at her, which injured her. She tried to fight, but her opponent was an ex-mafia member who killed many people along the way. On the other side, Atsushi was approached by the little girl who captured Dazai. The person on her phone told him to use her ability and to kill anyone who tries to interfere. As soon as she heard that, a huge spirit got summoned right above her with a blade and started attacking Atsushi. Dr. Yasano fought her best, but her opponent threw a lot of bombs at her and changed coaches to let her die. Atsushi was getting really beaten by the girl, and he was about to give up, but suddenly he was able to use his ability and defeated the huge spirit after breaking its blade. Dr. Asano treated her wounds using her ability and also defeated her opponent after tricking him into thinking that she was half dead. She then called Atsushi and told him that the girl has a detonator with her. As soon as he pressed the button, the bomb, instead of stooping, got active and panicked him. The girl told him that she did not want to kill anyone and jumped outside the train. Atsushi couldn't let her die and used his ability to save her, but got uncomfortable the moment he was relieved. The girl got unconscious after the event and was taken to Baksk, where Dr. Yasano was treating him. The words of the girl, her name is Kyouka, and she has killed 35 words, kept on repeating in his mind. While he was busy thinking about all this, Kunkata approached him, and as he was able to understand what he was going through, he told him that she is a serial killer and has killed many people. If she goes to the police, they will put her to death, and if she goes back to the mafia, they will call her a traitor. Atsushi tried to tell him that she was being used, but before he could convince more people, the doctor approached them and told them that Kyouka was awake. Kyouka didn't say much and asked them to first feed her steamed tofu. As they reached the restaurant, the girl started telling them that she is an orphan and that the port mafia took her in for her ability to demon snow. She even told them that her superior was none other than Akutagawa. Kyouka left the place in order to report everything to the agency while he and Tauka were there. Kyouka asked him if he would be able to take on her responsibility, which left Atsushi speechless. On the other side, Dazai was still captured by Akutagawa and was being beaten by him. Dazai was actually a member of the port mafia before joining the agency, but he refused the mission and vanished. Akutagawa told him that he was just a guest for a few more days, and then the mafia would kill them all and oblige his agency. But Dazai replied and told him that his new subordinate was far more superior than him. Atsushi had all the responsibility for the little girl as he took her to all the places she wanted to go. He even let her eat the sweet dishes she asked for. After a whole beautiful, fun day, she asked him to take her to one last place and took him to the police station. As he was trying to process all of this, suddenly he was attacked by Aguagtua and captured in a truck. Everyone in the agency got to know that Atsushi was captured, but Ranpo told everyone that it was not their job to get him as they are not foster homes. The president ordered everyone to find Atsushi, and they tried to find him in the next 3 hours. On the other side, a former partner of Dazai came to meet him and told him to fight, as he got to know that Dazai could run away whenever he wanted to. As the agency was not able to find him, the president had no choice but to ask Ranpo to find him as there was no other possible way. Ranpo instantly found him and told everyone that he was on a ship set out on water to another country. Dazai, after being confronted by his former partner, was getting thoroughly beaten. At first, he was able to dodge it, but his former partner, known as the best martial artist, also told him that he was still really weak and would not be able to fight against him if he didn't use his abilities. Dazai told him after he started getting cornered that he was here because he wanted to know about the were-tigers and the information about the person who wants to buy him for 7 billion yen. He also later predicted that his partner would let him go and would even tell him the data he wanted to know. At first he didn't believe it, but then Dazai told him that he wrote the letter to the officials of the port mafia saying that if he dies, all their secrets will be leaked and the whole port mafia will be destroyed. Hence, his partner couldn't kill him and rather was about to leave when Dazai told him that he would tell others that he aided him in getting free if he didn't tell the information about the buyer of the were-tiger. He then told him that Akutagawa keeps all his papers in the warehouse below. On the other side, Akutagawa took Atsushi out and started showing his hatred towards him. Kyouka couldn't stop but use all her guts and point her gun towards him. Akutagawa easily destroyed her gun and further told her that she is worthless and is of no use if she is not used as a killing machine. Kyouka suddenly triggered a series of bombs as she told Atsushi to run. Kyouka came near the ship and asked him to run away and leave Kyouka and Akutagawa on the sinking ship. Atsushi was about to leave, but he told Kyouka that Dazai wouldn't have left him like that and ran back to Akutagawa to kill him and save Kyouka. He started using all his skills to kill Akutagawa, but he was not able to do it. He realized that it takes him time to use his skills, and he has to keep up with him using his speed. Akutagawa Severi kept on injuring him as all his precious memories of Dazai telling him that he wouldn't be able to survive in the port mafia were like this. He couldn't accept that he was any lower than Atsushi. Instead, he thought himself to be superior, while Atsushi was getting angry as he thought about why Kyouka had to go through all the pain and how he could do all that to Kyouka. He went berserk and was able to knock out Akutagawa after throwing him in the water. He got unconscious after this happened, and Kyouka took him to Kyouka, who was waiting down in the motorboat. Dazai was able to finally know who wanted to buy the were-tiger but was completely shocked to know that himself. Kyouka was taken to the agency and accepted by everyone. All the people in the agency made her wear a maid's dress and were having fun. Atsushi was really confused to see all this. He asked if Ranpo was angry to see all this, but instead he was the one most interested in her as he brought her candies and chocolates. The president brought the girl into the agency. As he came into the room, Kyouka came near him and asked him to let her stay with them in the agency. At first, he was a bit undecisive, but when he saw Kyouka's cute face, he had no choice but to accept her. Akutagawa was recovered by the mafia but was severely injured. He had vertebral damage and a broken jaw. He was also in a coma. Higuchi, the woman, was told by her superior that various groups that were destroyed by Akutagawa are collecting themselves and planning violence against him. After talking to the official when she entered the washroom, she was confronted by her underlings, who told her that the reason they obey her is not because she has authority over them but because they fear the ability wielded by Akutagawa. And now that he is laying on a stretcher, they don't fear her. Fear-stricken from all this, when she reached his body, she could remember how he never used to take her help and did everything by himself. The moment she returned to her room, she got to know that Akutagawa had been abducted. She informed the Black Lizard and started moving towards the place where the kidnappers were. As she was about to die at the hands of the kidnappers, the Black Lizard appeared and saved her from them. They were able to excuse Akutagawa as he apologized to her too. Here in the agency, Atsushi was given the task of handling Kyouka as he was the one who brought her home. The policemen arrived at the agency, and Kenji and Atsushi were given the task of handling the case of the car crash in the building. As they were walking through the market to collect evidence, a huge man told Kenji that there had been a huge sale of fertilizers before the crash. Kenji told everyone that it might be nitrogen fertilizer, which is used for building bombs. He told Atsushi that he suspects the Gojo Youth Association for it. He went directly to the group and asked them if they had made the bomb, and when they said that they hadn't, they returned. Atsushi questioned how naive Kenji could be as the gang suddenly surrounded them on the road and were beating them. But Kenji used his brute strength and was able to defeat all of the nuisance and returned after collating the evidence. Atsushi was shocked to see Kyouka in the same room as her. When he entered the office, he got to know that she is his new roommate as there is no room left. Dazai told him that he should protect her too as the mafia can send assassins to kill her. He further told everyone that he was able to figure out who wants to buy the War Tiger, who is the leader of the organization in North America called Guild. He told them that their agents are set to hold key positions in finance, politics, and the military. They are a secret society that uses their limitless money and abilities to plot countless schemes. Suddenly, the leader himself approached the agency in his helicopter and sat with the president to talk with him. He told the president that he is interested in buying their company and, to be precise, wants their license to create work for people with special abilities. The president clearly denied him and even told him that it was the hard work of Natsume-sensei and he would never let it go, irrespective of how much money was given. Before they were leaving, they told the president to see the news in the morning, as Senju told them that he would see them off. Apparently, Senju disappeared in the lift while the others left. The next morning, everyone was shocked to hear that a 7-story building had disappeared out of nowhere. Everyone got alert as they sent Tanizaki and her sibling with Atsushi to go find Senju. While they were walking, suddenly Tanizaki's sister disappeared. As he ran here and there, he happened to reach another dimension where some other people were there with the red-haired girl. The red-haired girl explained to him and the others that he is in a game. The door behind her has his friends and can be opened only if they win the game. And the door behind them is the white gate, which will let them leave and is open. As the door opened, most of the people ran away, leaving just Tanizaki, Atsushi, and one other man who was finding a little girl. And the evil spirit doll was all set to capture everyone the moment the game started. Atsushi was thinking that Tanizaki would be able to use his ability to make fools of the doll, but he got captured in a split second. Now that Atsushi was alone and running everywhere in order to avoid being captured by the doll. After a lot of running, he was finally able to get the key, but the key turned into a living being, and he understood that there was no way to win the game. He was about to leave the place, leaving the girl and everyone, but the man stopped him and told him that he would forget everything once he got out. Atsushi regained his consciousness properly and started fighting it but got caught by the doll. As the little girl started looking at the man, he told her that she had already lost as she was in Tanizaki's illusion. Atsushi, who was really stuck at the door, threatened her to take her inside, and she had no option but to let everyone go. As the man got out, he was able to find the little girl he was trying to find. He told Atsushi and Tauka that there is always a solution to every problem as he left. Tauka got totally silent and started panicking. The man happened to be the leader of the port mafia, and he told all his subordinates that he would find a proper solution for both the guild and the agency. Will the mafia actually defeat the agency? Will the girl survive the guild? Atsushi will really be bought by the guild. We will know in the next season, so spam for the next part. Guys, if you like it then do subscribe our channel for more such amazing anime recaps. See you in the next video.